This letter came from a mother who is considering homeschooling. She said, I decided to homeschool our boys because I just wasn't ready to turn them over to the public school. I asked my older son if he would like for me to teach him at home rather than going away to school. He replied, yeah, I don't want to go to school. Can you do church too? Here's another one. Perhaps mothers could provide a uniform word for potty when children have to go to the bathroom. Our little tot was trained to refer to that act as a whisper. Well, the next weekend, this little boy was visiting his grandparents, and in the middle of the night, the boy got up, appeared at his grandpa's bed, and said nervously, Grandpa, I have to whisper. Grandpa said, well, come whisper in my ear. And some of the letters we get are from young people who were disciplined according to my principles, and some of them are ticked about it. They're not real happy. And a college student sent me a poem a while back that said, roses are red and violets are blue. When I was a kid, I got spanked because of you. Shirley and I have been married for 53 years, and I think it's going to work. And we have enjoyed each other. We have had a wonderful marriage. This has been just God's blessings to us both, and we've enjoyed each other so much. It's not a perfect marriage. It's not a perfect marriage because Shirley's not perfect, but it is a good marriage. One of the first things that I discovered is that Shirley has a wonderful sense of humor, and it came to me early. Third date. We were in college together, and I asked her to go with me to the Pike. Anybody know what the Pike is? Yeah, that's a cheap Disneyland is what it is. And so I took her there, and it's a pretty rundown place. I guess it's gone now. And there is, over by the beach, is the roller coaster. I don't know if any of you have ever ridden on that roller coaster at the Pike, but it's one scary place because it's made out of wood, and the thing was about 100 years old and is rickety. And I said, Shirley, we're going to ride the roller coaster. And she said, no, we're not. And I said, well, yeah, you are. And I put my hand in her back. Somehow I managed to get her on the thing. We're sitting there, and she grows silent, completely silent. And we took off, and we're clicking up to the first big dip. And it's out over the water, and it's at night, and you got the wind in your face. And when we came over that first dip, Shirley started screaming. And she screamed all the way around. Third date, she didn't stop all the way around. And we came back, and the little car came up to the place where you get off, and she didn't say anything. She just slipped down in the seat. And I wonder whether she's mad at me. She want me to take her home, because she didn't say anything. She just sat there. We got off, and we were walking up the ramp with about 50 people, and she fainted. Third date, she falls out. What have I done to this girl? How am I going to tell her mother? And I got down on my knees, and I'm down there, and everybody's pressed around, and I'm patting her face, trying to bring her around. I'm rubbing her hand, and I see this little smile. She faked the whole thing. Shirley and I flew out to Southern California to visit her folks at Thanksgiving time. And we were there for 3 or 4 days, and we had a rented car. And it came time to leave, so we got in the car, and we drove to Ontario Airport. We were under pressure because we were trying to catch a plane. And we were hurrying to get there. we pulled up to the place where there's a little voice that says you'll go to jail for the rest of your life if you don't move your car. You know how that works. So I said, Shirley, we're late. I'm going to get a sky cap, and he's going to take the suitcases in. I'm going to go turn in the car, and you go begin the process of checking in. So that sounded like a good idea. So I began pulling suitcases out of the trunk and setting them down on the curb. I got to the last one, and there was a big box in there that didn't belong to me. And I looked at that, and what am I going to do? I'm just not going to leave it in the car. And so I stood there and I ripped the paper off of it, and I opened it up, and it was a 2-gallon jug of gin. 2-gallon jug, and I'm a lifelong teetotaler, and I looked at this and I thought, what can I do? I can't just leave it on the curb. You know, they'll come after me if I do that. And I can't leave it in the car. They'll call my staff and tell them I left my gin in the car. And so I had a top-loaded briefcase. And I opened that up, and I took the gin out, and I just put it down in that briefcase. And all of a sudden, I remembered I've got to go through x-ray. And I was thinking, I sure hope that the guy doesn't see that there. This is, you know, you can't even take a little jug of water now, much less 2 gallons of gin. So I got it up there, and I picked the thing up, and I set it down on the belt, and it started going through, and I was thinking, I hope he doesn't see it. And I'm standing there, there's a lady beside me who recognized me. And she said, Dr. Dobson, I am so glad to meet you. Just as the guy on the other side of the x-ray said, man, you got a big jug of gin in here. And we had the strangest conversation you've ever heard. She's saying, I've raised all my children by your books. And I'm saying, it's not mine, I found it.